some media analysts claim that many political parties have failed to convince the Tunisian people and to reach the electors in remote areas because they had a very bad communication strategy. While your communication strategy, the communication strategy of Ennahda, has been described as perfect. Who's the mastermind of this media strategy, of this communication strategy within the party? I don't think it was spontaneous. I think it was well organized.
First, I wouldn't say it's perfect. And no human activity is perfect. There must be shortcomings and there must be ways to improve it in the future, and we're doing that. We're evaluating our campaign and hoping to improve it in the future and reach more people. Also, I don't want to comment on the campaigns of other parties. I think it's also up to them to evaluate where they have failed and where they have succeeded, and try to reach all Tunisians with their diverse backgrounds. But I agree with what you said. It was our strategy to reach all Tunisians, all Tunisian men and women, all classes, all regions. Our candidates toured villages, remote villages that usually politicians ignore and never give any attention to. And we saw the real concerns of Tunisians that are very far from the ones exaggerated and highlighted every day in the media. So I think that's why we achieved an important result. But as I said, we want to reach even more people in the future.
But don't you think that the communication strategy of Ennahda was good during the electoral campaign, but you have made some mistakes after the announcement of the results?
As I said, no human is perfect, and particularly as a party that, at the same time, that has been here for decades and part of Tunisian society and part of political work. At the same time, as a Tunisian party in a political scene where there has never been the opportunity to really practice democracy on the ground, to practice media work. This is all new to all of us, like other parties, and there's vast scope for improvement. So obviously there will be mistakes, and we accept that, and we will learn from them.
You know that the Arabization of the educational system in Tunisia started years ago. Therefore, parents are willing today to question the validity of this program, of this strategy to change the curriculum, the Tunisian curriculum. And they are also willing to pay everything in order to achieve the results they are looking for, in order to have well-educated kids. And they are afraid, these people are afraid today of the fact that maybe you are planning to change the educational program in Tunisia. And I would like to have the answer of the lady who spent years in the UK, who went to British schools.
I completely agree with what you said, particularly all parents, but I think particularly Tunisian parents are very concerned about their children's education as their path towards a better future, and that's very important, and that's natural, and that's something to be commended. So I understand that they are worried about the education system, but I don't think they would be worried that there will be change, because I'm sure they can see very well that there are huge problems in the education system, and that it needs a lot of changes, a lot of developments. So Ennahda, alongside others, other parties, both within the government and within the assembly and in the political scene, are all planning to work together, enter into dialogue to first evaluate the current educational system, to revise it, to find the points that are problematic and that need revision and need change, and together agree on a development plan for this very important field.
What kind of reforms are you talking about? Do you have an idea? First, because you spent more than 20 years in the UK, so do you have an idea about the educational system here in Tunisia?
I mean, obviously, I was not. Obviously, I went to primary school here and some of my secondary school here. But yes, in the last 20 years, I was not part of the Tunisian system. So, however, the proposed reforms for this field are laid out in the Ennahda electoral program. But what is most important, and I think what we can, also learn from other systems, is the main point that we need the involvement of all stakeholders. It should not be just a government effort. We need the involvement of parents, of teachers, of everyone who is involved in this vital field. They need to all come together and enter into real dialogue. I think there's going to be a conference organized to bring all these who are involved and have an interest in this field to give their own opinion, to evaluate this field and move forward.
So, where's the priority of Ennahda today? Is it education? Is it economy? Is it solving the problems of people? And I came here to Ennahda headquarters, and I saw that many people were outside waiting for their representatives to talk about their problems.
Yes, there are people with very urgent needs, and that's what Ennahda and our partners in the government are planning to give urgent attention to. These immediate needs that cannot wait any longer, particularly the unemployment problem. This is going to be a priority for the new government. There are many fields that are also in need of very urgent attention, but the economy will be the main priority in the coming year and in the coming 5 years of transition.
You know that the majority of the members of the political bureau of Ennahda were jailed, unemployed, or living as refugees in Europe and the United States. How are you going to deal with some people who might be involved in what you have gone through? Your father has claimed that this story belongs to the past. Do you think it's easy to forget years in jail, years of forced unemployment, and the frustrating life of a political refugee? Do you think you can really turn the page?
I think if you look at what's happened over the last year during the campaign, what's happening now, what we're doing in terms of the negotiations and working with other parties, you can already see Ennahda's attitude that despite what you've mentioned, despite the fact that there have been over 100 martyrs killed under torture, there have been thousands, tens of thousands of people whose lives have been robbed, spending 10 years, 15 years, 18 years in prison, some of those in complete isolation, and the thousands who have lived in exile away from their homeland, away from their families. It's not something that can be easily forgotten or ever forgotten. However, that does not mean that it leaves resentment or bitterness, because all these now are living great hope that finally that is over, and they want to make sure that that is completely over, both for them and for all Tunisians, that can never be repeated for any Tunisians, that they can be deprived of living in their country, they can be deprived of their freedom, whatever their political or intellectual background. And as you can see, I think Ennahda members are proving to display great positive spirit. They're willing to work with everyone, they're willing to place the country's interest above any other interests. So yes, there is a need for accountability, bringing those who have been responsible for such crimes to account, not as a matter of revenge, but as a matter of having justice served and ensuring that that is not repeated in the future, but moving forward and focusing on the positive opportunities that we now have finally.
Is this your message to the Tunisian people?
Definitely, and I think that's also the message that the Tunisian people have sent to their politicians during the elections and through the election results. I think they have mainly voted for those parties that have been part and at the forefront of the struggle against dictatorships, but also those parties that are displaying a positive spirit, willing to work together, placing the country's interest above their party interests. So I think it's a very important message.
Yusra Ghannouchi, thank you very much.
Okay.